All right, we got a lot to talk about today. Of course, everybody knows that Israel struck Iran's nuclear facilities, killing a bunch of people. And just right up front, I'm not pro-Israel and I'm not pro-Iran. I'm not taking a side. I do know this. All wars, it appears, all wars are bankers' wars. There's a reason they want you fighting. There's a reason they want to fearmonger. There's a reason there's propaganda. There's a reason that truth is the first casualty in any war, because honesty and truth does not lead to, hey, let's get involved in a long, drawn out, costly conflict that's going to cost not only the lives of the people on the battlefield, but any kind of nuclear fallout that might happen from this. And then we got, before we go over this article by Axiom right here, we got Tulsi Gabbard warmongering about the possibility of a nuclear threat here in America. Check this out.
I recently visited Hiroshima in Japan and stood at the epicenter of a city that remains scarred by the unimaginable horror caused by a single nuclear bomb dropped in 1945, 80 years ago. It's hard for me to find the words to express what I saw, the stories that I heard, the haunting sadness that still remains. This is an experience that will stay with me forever.
Now, there is another side to this. There are a lot of people who say, man, if we didn't drop the bomb, Japan was so bad and so dead set on being against America and the American way of life that if we didn't drop that bomb, they would have continued to try to overtake us. So in essence, by dropping that bomb, we saved a whole lot of lives. There's a lot of different ways that people are looking at this, besides the tragedy of hundreds of thousands of people just dying in the blink of an eye. That's crazy that we even have that kind of technology.
This attack obliterated the city, killed over 300,000 people, many dying instantly while others died from severe burns, injuries, radiation sickness, and cancer that set in the following months and years.
It's just horrific. It's horrific to think that man can be this inhuman to mankind.
Nagasaki suffered the same fate. Homes, schools, families, all gone in a flash. The survivors, the hibakusha, they carried the pain of extreme burns, radiation sickness, and loss for decades. Survivors of this attack were asked to put in paintings and drawings their own memories and how they felt and what they saw, and those paintings and the suffering that they conveyed, the pain and the sense of loss were almost more powerful than the photos themselves.
Now, I want you to notice this video was uploaded on June 10th. The strike happened last night on the night of the 12th. So just 2.5 days after she released this. Is that coincidence? I don't know. Let's talk about some of this. And Axiom says Israel's stunning and sprawling operation overnight, targeting Iran's nuclear facility missile sites. Scientists and generals followed 8 months of intensive clandestine operations. Now, Trump says that he was trying to deter Netanyahu from doing this. But this article says that there are sources that claim the exact opposite. And before we get into that, I want to show you this next part of Tulsi Gabbard's video.
Yet this one bomb that caused so much destruction in Hiroshima was tiny compared to today's nuclear bombs. The bomb that was dropped on Hiroshima had a yield of just 15 kilotons of TNT, whereas today's nuclear warheads range in size from 100 kilotons to over 1 megaton.
Now that right there is propaganda meant to achieve one result. That's to scare people, to get people, to shove people over on a side for an administration, to fight in a particular fight. Man, we can't let this happen. We can't have this death and destruction be produced by Iran. There must be weapons of mass destruction. Well, if there wasn't the first time, there's probably this time. So Israel's probably justified in striking these nuclear sites here, right? The operation launched a new war in the Middle East that could draw the U.S. and demolished any hopes of a nuclear deal, and dealt arguably the biggest single blow to the Iranian regime since the 1979 revolution, and it's only just the beginning. They say Israel is attempting to eliminate Iran's nuclear and ballistic missiles capabilities in an operation expected to last at least several days. Don't tell me they haven't been ramping up for this and preparing for this and getting assets in place and funneling funds and military equipment and personnel into certain places so they could do this. Other Israeli officials said it could take weeks. Israel attempted just in the opening hours to assassinate nuclear scientists it claims had the know-how to make a nuclear bomb. Around 25 scientists were targeted, and at least 2 are confirmed dead so far. How many of those scientists were just innocent guys, not just doing their jobs, but maybe they were at a nuclear facility so that they could have power, not so that they could build a weapon? Apparently, you need 90% pure uranium to weaponize it. And on the other side of it, where they use it for, lights and power, it's like 3 or 4% purity for the uranium. Israel also targeted the entire top brass of Iran's military. The commander of the Revolutionary Guard and the military chief of staff were both confirmed dead, along with another senior general. The Israeli operation didn't just include airstrikes. Israel's Mossad intelligence services, think Jeffrey Epstein, has operatives on the ground conducting covert sabotage operations on missile and air defense sites, according to officials. Israel is expected to keep pounding Iran's underground nuclear facilities in the coming days, along with other targets. And so behind the scenes, here's what Axiom says. The idea for an operation simultaneously targeting Iran's missile and nuclear programs, which Netanyahu has described as existential threats to Israel. They have weapons of mass destruction. He comes into Congress and he goes, we need your approval to go invade. And then it was boots on the ground and they came up with nothing. Took hold after Iran struck Israel in October during the cycle of tit-for-tat escalation between the countries, motivated by both Iran's fast-growing missile arsenal and its weakened air defenses following Israelis' retaliation. Netanyahu ordered the military and intelligence services to begin planning. The Israeli military said another factor was intelligence about nuclear weaponization research and development that indicated Iran could build a bomb more quickly if it elected to do so. And this is all just hearsay. The friction point: even as President Trump pursued a nuclear deal, Israel was preparing for this strike, gathering intelligence, positioning assets, and eventually conducting drills. Those preparations alarmed some in the White House who worried Netanyahu might move even without a green light from Trump. And a lot of people are saying he actually got a green light from Trump, while Trump is saying in the public, hey, we don't want war. But of course, we know that all banker puppets want war because wars are banker wars. Netanyahu assured Trump he wouldn't. The White House, for its part, told Netanyahu that if Israel attacks Iran, it would do so alone. That bet's off the table right now. Intrigue, but in the hours after the attack began, Israeli officials briefed reporters that this was all coordinated with Washington. I wonder if that's true. 2 Israeli officials claimed to Axios that Trump and his aides were only pretending to oppose an Israeli attack in public and didn't express opposition in private. Quote, we had a clear U.S. green light, according to one of the Israeli officials. The goal, they say, was to convince Iran that no attack was imminent and make sure Iranians on Israel's target list wouldn't move to new locations. Netanyahu's aides even briefed Israeli reporters that Trump had tried to put the brakes on an Israeli strike in a call on Monday, when in reality, the call dealt with coordination ahead of the attack, according to Israeli officials. I don't know if this is true or not. I would not put it past them, because whether you're an Obama or a Bush or a Bush 2 or a Clinton or a Donald J. Trump, we know who the owners of this country are. We know that they own the issuance and the value of the currency, and it's because of this that we can have wars. It's because of this that we can give $3.9 billion a year to Israel. And it's because of this right here that we can beef up the military-industrial complex and create deeper pockets in the suits of the defense contractors, as you just wait and see U.S. comes to the defense of Israel, even though they were the ones who drew first blood. Let me know what you think about this whole thing. This is crazy. We don't want World War III. We don't want nukes in the air. We don't want people doing crazy things in the Middle East and blocking off trade and oil to increase, which will make everything increase in price. We don't want any of that stuff. But what do you think is really happening here? Leave your thoughts in the comment section below. If you like these videos, if you like the energy, if you like the truth that's being presented, give this video a like, share this video with everybody you know, subscribe to the channel, become a channel member. I saw on my analytics that there's now 50 members on this small channel. I really appreciate that. Let's get 50 more members or 500 more members, because I'm telling you, this is the counter narrative to the leftist propaganda and the rightist propaganda. Right here, we just want the truth, and truth fears no scrutiny. I'll see you in the next video.